Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show, the places and the events that shape our great game.
We are here celebrating your mother's 100th birthday. Tell us about your mom, Betty.
Well, my mom is one of a kind, as you know, and she's quite a character, but she's been so involved with golf for almost all of her life, having grown up on a golf course.
She was a really good player.
Very good player, yes. She's a city champion, club champion, Illinois, Twin Cities, and actually she met my dad through golf too.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, and of course she's a wonderful mother too. Yeah. We have here most of her 14 great grandchildren.
14 great grandchildren. Wow.
And her six grandchildren. So yeah.
Oh, she must be really proud.
She is. Yeah. She's great mother, great grandmother, and great grandmother.
Well, it's funny. We know a completely different side of her, which is the golf side, and she's been so instrumental in setting up the Michigan Golf Hall of Fame, for example. Yes. And she's a member.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And she has always been one. She said when she was young, she really appreciated the ladies that worked at the golf tournaments that she played in, and she said one day I want to give back to the game like them. And so she really has spent most of her life giving back to the game. Yeah. So she's a great role model for her family and I think for many others too.
So for the great grandkids, that must be a kind of a fun great grandmom to have, somebody who plays golf.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, and she's fun just in general. I remember when she was a grandmother, I think in her 60s, she had one of my children and she was in the little red wagon going down the hill in the wagon with the grandchild. So she was a lot of fun. She still is a lot of fun.
I think your whole family's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Well, this is certainly a fun day. It's fun to see people turn out, and the big balloons that say 100, those are cool.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's really special that there's so many people that have been such a part of Mom's life and have really wanted to be here to celebrate, and that she was so excited at the amount of people that have come and have been here. A lot of good memories and a lot of very, very special people, both in golf and in from my dad's engineering group and in town too, because Mom has been very involved with the city of Ann Arbor.
What was his engineering group?
Civil engineering.
Okay.
My dad was a professor at the University of Michigan.
My brother's a civil engineer, so I kind of get it. Oh. Those guys know everything.
And we even had one of Dad's former students that was the head of civil engineering at Purdue, and he drove all the way from Purdue to come here today. So
wow! So engineers and golfers.
Yes. And so that's why our theme is it's birds, because my mom loves birds, and then birdies.
That makes sense. Yeah. I saw the sign out front and I had to stop and think about it. But
yes.
Yeah. Betsy, thank you so much for talking with us and congratulations.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Happy 100th birthday, Mom. It's been a long time, and sure proud of you. You've made touched a lot of people in your life, and made them better, and your positive nature is an inspiration for us all. So, love you.
Did she ever spank you for being bad?
Oh, of course, absolutely. And praised me when I did well, and unconditional love all the time. So she's been a great mom for all these years, and it's a wonderful, joyous occasion.
We are celebrating Betty Richart, and with me are two of her granddaughters. On my right is Bethany Campbell. How are you doing, Bethany?
Great, thank you.
And over here, Emily Brackera.
Yes. I'm doing well as well.
And I understand the game of golf has come down to both of you. Tell me a little bit about how you got involved, Bethany.
Well, we started really early being out on the course with our grandparents, and Nana, Betty Richart, always included us in the activities, going to the GAM events, LPGA, and so it just kind of became second nature to us, and then we played throughout childhood, up into high school, and now even when we can get out today, we go out and play with our kids.
Wow.
Yes,
And that is true. It's, from the moment you were born, if you're born into this family, you get a golf club, whether it's a teether or a real one. And then Nana, Betty Richart, and my papa started us out. They would take us to the putting green, the chipping green, the driving range, and they were patient enough to teach us, even when we just wanted to ride in the golf cart. And then it's, what we, like Bethany said, we started and then started playing competitively through high school. And now every year we do a family reunion and do a golf scramble. So
Wow, a family golf scramble. Ooh, who are some of the good ones?
not me. No, but actually we rotate teams every year depending on, who can make it to the reunion. But my Uncle Will, my Uncle John sometimes is there and their children, and Nana will sometimes ride in the cart and watch going on, and so it's fun. And scrambles are fun for those of us that might not play as much as we'd like, but we can still be competitive, so that's fun.
Yeah, scrambles are fun because it doesn't matter what your score is.
Yes, exactly. Or if you have an errant shot, you can pick it up, and like Nana said, not yours, we're going to use somebody else's.
And how about you? How did you first start playing?
So I remember going out to Barton Hills with Nana, and she would take me around in the golf cart, and I would pretty much just ride along and watch the holes. So I feel like I had an advantage before I was even playing there to know the holes. Where Nana would tell me, this is where you should shoot from here. And then we did junior golf through Travis Point every year, and that was my most favorite event because my cousins, who are just around our age, we would have so much fun. We played from 2-holers to 18-holers every year and just really bonded over the time we got to spend talking together. And then we played, even though we were never in high school together, we were both in different years, and I was able to have my mom coach me for 2 or 3 years, and then Debbie Williams also coached. So I really learned a lot and grew in my game and in the rules from those years on.
And it sounds like it all started with Nana.
Absolutely. And that's funny she brings up rules, because before you even played, Nana made sure you knew the golf rules. So you knew the penalties. You better not be one of those people who had bad etiquette. And we learned that very young. And it was good, because then we could go along and play, not really play, but we could tag along with the really good golfers and, at least not do something terrible. Nana would never let us do that.
It's more fun to play when you know the rules, right?
Absolutely. And we hope to pass that on to our kids. My boys just started doing the First Tee program, which has been great, teaching sportsmanship, rules, and even playing 2 holes this year. So there's a lot of opportunities now for young golfers, and Nana's right there cheering along as well.
So you're a golfing family.
We are, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bethany and Emily.
Yep.
How long have you been to Barton Hills, and when did you get into Betty here?
I stopped working in March. I was there for 35 and a half years, and I met Betty and her husband in 1987.
Did you give me any trouble at all?
Never. She's been wonderful. She was so involved, and she was always so exuberant about everything that went on.
It's so amazing to be here with Betty on her 100th birthday, and today being her 100th birthday at that. But she's an amazing woman. She's been part of golf for so long and such here in Michigan, especially, and with the USGA. So we're just so pleased to be here with her and get a chance to celebrate with her. And she's given us some rules officiating today. She brought that up a couple times. So, but yeah, she got some stories. So hope to get back over to her and see her for a little bit.
Hi, I'm Kathy Legatsky, and I've known Betty since I believe I was 19 when I first met her, and played golf at Barton, and was mentored by her, as many women here today, and just a person that makes me feel 6 feet tall when I talk to her. And she calls me more than I call her, which is just wrong, but she is so sharp. Betty, I love you so much, and you make 100 look like 80.
I'm Mary Jane Anderson Heaston, and I met Betty when I was at the University of Michigan as a freshman. Betty and Bill kind of took care of us. I was playing with Betsy, and Betty has just been such an amazing part of my life. Got me involved in the USGA, didn't know anything about the USGA, and got me to the first Mid-Am, and it's kind of gone from there. I try and keep in touch with her from South Florida every few months, and love talking to her every time, and I miss her dearly, but I'm so glad that we were here to celebrate their 100th birthday on her birthday on this beautiful, spectacular Michigan summer day.
Hi, Betty, we love you. You're a wonderful ambassador for golf. Known you for many, many years, and we think you're lovely, and we really appreciate you.
Now, who's
That's my son, Ian.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ian. Nana Betty, we love you. Happy birthday.
Are you involved in golf, or how do you know
I
Betty?
am. I grew up knowing Nana Betty.
Yeah.
We spent many years up at Crystal Lake with her,
and we golf with her kids all the time. So
yeah,
yeah, she's great. This is my wife, Elaine.
She was trying to get in the shot.
Yeah.
Well, only because you got my family here.
Come on.
Yeah.
Say something nice about Betty and golf.
Oh my gosh, well, all the accomplishments, and I think their family is some of the best evidence for a golf gene that I've ever seen.
A golf gene.
Yeah.
A golf gene, yep, for sure.
Right from John to Willard to Betsy to
Well, and their
Bill.
cousins, they've got good golfers
Yeah.
all throughout the family.
They're awesome golf family.
Yep.
Betty is the first lady of golf in Michigan, without a doubt. She's been with the USGA, head of the Women's Committee, head of U.S. Senior Women's Championships, or Women's Championships, and a whole bunch of others. She hosted one at Indianwood. She was a host of Mid-Amateur at Barton Hills, and she's just been, her fingers have been in everything in women's golf, especially in Michigan, and we're really proud of her, and she's doing great. It's amazing. She's having such a good time today, and we're all having a good time today, celebrating her 100th birthday. And she's been 100 years. I can't even imagine that. But Betty has been my mentor and my friend for so many years. And I remember we've had a lot of experiences traveling together. And one thing I always would never forget is that she and I were on the Hall of Fame committee, and we'd have to drive to Bob McMaster's office for meetings once a month. And we were always talking, and we'd always miss the exit. We would even talk about, well, this time we're not going to miss the exit. And we'd miss the exit. So we have had a lot of really good times together.
Happy birthday, Betty. You have been a great part of my life for the last 60 years. You, your whole family, and Betsy and I have been friends, and you got me into the wonderful game of golf. So thank you, and happy birthday.
We're with a tremendous athlete, Debbie Williams-Hoke, who has done a lot of things. She's thrown javelins and played golf, and now she's here celebrating us for Betty's 100th birthday. How do you know Debbie? I mean, how do you know Betty?
I've known her for a very, very long time, and mostly through her daughter, Betsy. Betsy and I started competing against each other as amateur golfers, and when I got to know Betsy, then I got to know her mom. And her mom and I just really hit it off, and she was very instrumental in helping me in my golf career, and we just crossed paths so many places, and the U.S. Amateur in San Diego, she was a very special help to me with my father was ill, and just she's just a special lady. She's always kind of been my adopted grandmother all these years, and just to learn about her and everything that she's done. You know, she played golf on the Duke University men's golf team. And
because there is no women's team, of course.
And she's just a real fire plug, and I've learned so many different things from her, and you know, just what an inspiration she is. You know, and up until 4 years ago, she was driving a car at 96, and she used to have a Volkswagen Beetle that she would drive around, a stick shift, and I mean, and she still, you know, is plugging away, and you talk to her, and you know, she's just like she was 30 years old.
Yeah, and the Michigan Golf Hall of Fame is one of the very special things that she not only set up, and she's a member of, and so are you.
Yeah, it's an honor to be in there with people like Betty, and actually she was the one that nominated me for the Hall of Fame and helped with that process, and so obviously I'm eternally grateful for her for that, but you know, she's a special lady. It's hard to find the right words to describe just how special she is. Amazing, trailblazer, inspirational, all that she's done for the USGA and women's golf throughout the years, and for the Michigan Golf Association, and for the Golf Association of Michigan, the Michigan Women's Golf Association. I mean, we can just keep going and going.
That's a lot of golf associations just to start with.
Yes. She's dedicated her life to golf, and the other neat thing about her and Betsy and stuff is, if you want to look at the definition of family, that's where to go. Family is first and foremost when it comes to Betty and her children and everything, and it's just it's really neat to see.
Well, it's fun to see all of them here, 14 great-grandchildren and in between.
And it's really neat, too, and just, you know, between the family and then some very special people, you know, came back and traveled long distances just to be here. Mary Jane Anderson's here, came in from Florida, and Joan Garrity from Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids area, and just, I mean, how often do you get to celebrate somebody special in your life, 100th birthday?
Not very often.
Right.
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Preston, it's so nice to see you. It's usually a golf show, and this is outside. How cool.
It is cool. And it has to do with golf, because it has to do with Miss Golf, Betty Richart.
Miss Golf, that's a good way to put it. So tell us about how you met her.
So 10, 12 years ago, the Michigan Women's Golf Association put on a fundraiser to recognize Mary Fossen, Betty Richart, and Shirley Spork for their contributions to golf. And that's when I met Betty, and we clicked immediately, and I was the chair of that event, and we just became fast friends.
What a trio.
The three of them were a dynamic trio. Yes, nothing like that has happened since.
So, and you put together the event. That in itself had to be a big deal just to get them in the same room.
Well, they were so pleased to be recognized. You know, when we're doing that, women in golf just weren't getting the recognition. And we did this as a fundraiser for junior golf. And we had Michigan State's golf team come, and they hit some shots for the players, and as did the U of M's golf team, U of D Mercy's golf team. And so the players came and had a chance, to meet some outstanding women who made big difference in golf. And they had a chance to have some fun.
That must have been fun for the younger ones to be able to look up to people.
Well, many of them had never heard of Shirley Spork, you know, and let alone Betty and her contributions to the PGA. Some of them knew about Mary Fossen because they aspired to go to Michigan State, where she was the coach. But it was a chance for those young women to also know the history of women in golf.
Well, you've been a big part of it yourself, and Betty is really interesting because she did so many things people are just rattling off acronyms. It's amazing.
It is amazing. She did a lot of things that I had no knowledge about until we recognized her. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was impressive. She is impressive. As I say, Miss Golf.
Miss Golf. That's a great name for it, for somebody who's 100 today.
And this is her birthday.
I don't think I've ever known anybody who was 100.
Let me say to you, if you haven't talked to her yet, her mind is phenomenal. She can rattle off things and tell you things that I said to her 10, 12 years ago that I didn't know that I said. So it's wonderful to be 100 and have your mind that fluid.
We should all hope.
I do hope.
Francine, it's so nice to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to rave about one of my good friends.
It's great. Thank you. We're here today celebrating Betty Richart, and with us is Joan Garrity, and I'm really curious, how did you meet her?
Oh, wow. I know her through her daughter, Betsy. Betsy and I are the same age, and I played for Michigan State. Betsy was playing as an individual for U of M because they didn't have a team, and so we met through that. And then, of course, Betty has been such a wonderful volunteer within the state of Michigan for the game of golf and supporter, and so we've just interacted at tournaments for so many years, and it's been a delight every time I've met her and spent time with her.
She's been involved in any organization that has to do with golf in Michigan, and her impact is really hard to grab hold of.
The thing about Betty is she is the absolute perfect role model as to what you want in a person in every way she interacts. And the role that she played at different tournaments, just always being the steadying force, being the kind of the push behind things, the if it's a rules official, if it's setting things up, Betty was always there doing all the hard work that you might not notice. But when you think about it, without Betty, it wouldn't have happened. And, the role she's played with the USGA and the Women's Committee, it's just one thing after another. She's been just superb for so long.
She's been behind the scenes for so much of this. It's kind of wonderful that all of a sudden she's not behind the scenes. She's in front.
She is the reason we are celebrating today, that's for sure. 100 years. And she is as committed and as interested and as talkative as she was when I first met her now almost 50 years ago.
No. 50, wow.
Yeah, it'll be 50 in another, I would give it 2 years.
You had to be 3 at the time.
I might have been a negative. I might have been negative, but no, I've earned all these years, so I'm going to claim them.
Good. Joan, thank you so much. It's been fun talking to you about Betty.
Absolutely. She is. We're celebrating, that's for sure.
We are. Thank you.
All right, who knows the lyrics to Michigan Golf Hall of Fame is fun?
All right, on 3. Look this way, Sarah. 1, 2, 3.
Hold on. I'm not ready yet.
Got it, Jenny?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Michigan Golf Hall of Fame is fun.